Okay, this is the homework assignment 2.3, day 3, analyzing equations, function or not. So what we're doing is this here, we did this, the top one in class. I'm going to go over the review for tests first because that's most important right here. All these, one of the questions will be like this one, the other one will be like this one here. So I want to make sure that everyone understands how to do that. So simplify this here. Tomorrow's the quiz. You need to do 4 times 5, like that. And then 5 is one of our answer because nothing can divide into it anymore, so it goes inside this radical sign. And then the 4 here, so the 4 is 2 times 2. Nothing can divide into 2, so that goes in there. And this 2 goes in here. Okay? And then there's 5 ends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You pair them off. This pair off. You got 1 pairs of 2, so 2 to the power of 1. And there's 1, 2, there's n to the second. There's 2 of them. And what's left inside is this 5 and this n inside the radical. So therefore you got the radical sign with left the 5 and the n. And that's your answer. 2 to the 1 power is just 2. So you don't have to write that exponent. And that's your answer there. Okay, a lot of students are having trouble with the scientific notation. I think it's maybe they're lazy or something, but all you do is 10 to the 7th power, 10, so you do 9.3, or they're frustrated, I'm not sure. To order of operation, that's 10 7 times. Let me see, where's the calculator? Can't figure out the exponent to this. So 10 to the, oh, here it is. 10, this YX button right there, to the power of 7 equals, okay, 10 million. So that's 7 zeros. Yep. So I go back to my problem here, and that's 10 million. Times that by 9.3, times the answer by 9.3, 93 million. So here you get 93 million. So explain how you'd solve this problem. Explain the Earth is about 93 million miles to the Sun. And the Moon is about this much to the Sun, I'm sure. How much further is the Earth to the Sun than the Moon? Okay, how much further? So to find how much further something is, we subtract. Okay, so 93 million. Well, what is this number? We need to make it into science standard form. 2 times 2.39, okay, times 10 to the 5th. You do the exponent first, 10 to the 5th, clear, 10 to the power of 5 equals 100,000. Oops, no, I don't want to do that. Shoot. Okay, so that's 100,000 times 2.3. This is order of operation. 2.3 times 100,000 equals 230,000. Or 239,000 in this case. Okay? So how much further is it, the Earth to the Sun, than it is the Moon? You have to subtract that. Two numbers. So 93 million minus 239,000. Okay? So clear. 93 million minus 239,000 equals 92,761. 92,761. 92,761. 92,761,000 miles. So, okay, how much further is the Earth to the Sun than the Moon? The Earth is 92,761,000 miles further to the Sun than the Moon. Okay? And then you explain how you get the answer. First, we make them, okay, that's one answer. Then you have to explain how you solve this. First, we made the scientific notation into standard notation. First, we made the scientific notation. Here's that word. To standard notation. Then we subtract. Then we subtract. Okay? That's how we do that one. Okay, here. The graph represents Nathan's distance from home after driving X hours. Okay, so he drives so many hours. How far is Nathan from home? First question. How far, that's a question, from home was Nathan after driving 2 hours? Okay, after 2 hours, here's 2 hours, here's Nathan. It's 120 miles from home. Nathan was 120 miles from home. Nathan was 120 miles from home after 2 hours. How fast did Nathan drive between 0 to 2 hours? Ooh, how fast did he drive from 0 to 2 hours? That's his line right here. Well, from 0 to 120, so he drove 120 miles. Remember, distance, if you don't, distance over time is your speed. That's your, explain your reasoning, okay? We can explain distance divided by time because this is how fast. That is speed. Distance divided by time is the speed. So you divide the distance, which is divide 120 divided by 2 hours. Okay? 0 to 2 is 2 hours. Therefore, Nathan drove 60 miles per hour. Describe the graph of 4.5 and 5.5 right here. Describe that graph. That is a discrete, no, it's continuous. The graph is continuous. Linear and horizontal. Line. Okay? And that's the review part. Now the other one will look exactly like number 4 here. And I was explaining into period 5, you read this as 3 times x. So the domain is x. So you substitute where x is, the first one is -1. So 3 times -1 now in place of the x. So we have here 3 times -1 minus 5. You get a -8. -1, -8. The next one is 3 times, we finished with the first one, domain of 0, so 3 times 0. 0 here. So 3 times 0 minus 5. Put that in a calculator, you get -5. So you input 0, you input the 0, and you get out a -5. Okay, the last number to input is 1. So 3 times, for the x's, you put 1. So instead of 0 now, it's a 1. 3 times 1 minus 5. And if you put in a calculator, you should get -2. If you input 1, you get a -2. Okay, you order pair -1, -8. Ooh, all the way down here. Not enough room. -7, -8 is here. 0, -5 is here. 1, -2. Is here. Probably this needs to be a little bit further down. -1, -2 right here. Like that piece right there. And then you draw a line. Is this a function or not? This is a function because your domain are different. Okay? This is a function because all of the domain are different. Okay, and let's practice another one like that, number 2. Because these are the ones going to be on the test. So I'm only going to videotape the ones going to be on the test so that you know how to do this. All the other ones I'll show later, we'll learn later. So we'll focus on the test. And I showed it in class already, so I want to make sure you know the ones that are going to be on the test. So domain is x. So y equals, this is y equals to 2 times, this is 2 times x plus 1. So domain is x, so in place of x, you put a -1 here. So where x is, it's 2 times a -1 plus, so it's 2 times a -1 plus 1. Put that on a calculator, your output would be -1. Your ordered pair would be, you substitute in -1, input -1, you get out -1. Okay. Do you have any questions? I have to take this phone call. You do that for the same for 0. You input zeros, 2 times 0 plus 1. So 0, 1. Then you graph it. Okay?